Right now, a chat with two big brain ladies about the issues that are around right now. Emilie Dye, of course, works for the Centre of Independent Studies, so always good to have her in the man cave, as is our dear friend Linda Scott. Excited budget week, woo, solved all the problems. And of course, Peter Dutton, in reply, a sign of a horrible Trumpist government to come. What did you think of the response?
I mean, look, if only there was as much vision as Donald Trump has. There was just sort of nothing, wasn't there? No new ideas, just repeating the whole sort of law and order themes that he's been talking about as a Queensland cop since he's been in Parliament for a very long time. Just really nothing new.
Didn't get you there. Emilie, what about you?
I thought it was so cautious. I was really disappointed that the coalition has taken such a soft response to the changes to stage 3 tax cuts and those broken promises. I think that they should have come out much stronger and said, hey, actually the wealthier people are being underrepresented. They're being undercompensated for bracket creep. We're not compensating for the bracket creep that's occurred over the time period. And so they're like, the changes are fine. The gutting it is fine. If you're of a certain wealth group, you'll never get a tax cut. You never get to be compensated for bracket creep, and that's okay.
Yeah, but you'll get, $75 every 3 months on a power bill if you're
yes.
sitting and rolling around your mansion. Now, today, there's on multiple fronts a conversation of Labor MPs and senators that have come forward and said pretty direct stuff that is either in support of protests that have taken place or outright attacks on Israel for its response to what has happened in October the 7th. In the New South Wales example, again, without boring you here, all of the extra jobs, apart from being the backbencher, have been taken away from the one in New South Wales. The senator from Western Australia, well, Albo's waved the finger, but she's very junior and a first termer, so there's nothing to take off from her. So, Emilie, free speech or crossing the line. What do you think of these things?
I mean, I've already outed myself as being very pro-speech. I think that we should be having debate. I think that they haven't crossed the line. I think this is actually shameless plug to the CIS, but we had an event last night that it was using all of the words that are the offensive words. It was John Mearsheimer. He said the genocide word. He said the apartheid word. He said ethnic cleansing. And this is a debate series we're doing. We'll have the other side coming up next month so that both sides can speak. But I think it's really important to let people voice their ideas, especially our parliamentarians, especially people in government. They should be allowed to be vocal. They should be allowed to be bold. And we should combat them on their arguments.
But also, I mean, Linda, there's a responsibility here, right? And the responsibility, I think, is that your ultimate expertise is in the constituency you represent, i.e., as a councillor, I'm an expert in having an opinion about the area that I represent. Do you have opinions about other things? Sure, because you're a human being. But it seems to me that where these people are going to get themselves in trouble, apart from where they land on the issue, is, in my view, kind of way out of their lane, trying to fix intractable problems on the other side of the world, and the response is going to be from their leaders, get back in your lane.
Well, look, I think, as I said to Michael Kroger last week, what Australians want to see is their leaders trying to promote and support harmony, bringing communities together, showing leadership to stop the division. And so I do think these two comments by two Labor members in the New South Wales Parliament and in the Federal Parliament were unhelpful when you've got everyone in leadership positions in Labor governments across the country trying to promote harmony and peace and bringing people together. It's not to say there's not global significant tensions. It's not to say that people don't have opinions that they can't voice. But what people want right now in particular is the promotion of leadership and harmony. I do want to call out, though, Paul, because I think it is correct to say that there is a difference. I do want to call out that in the New South Wales example, Anthony D'Adam, as a parliamentary secretary, is part of a leadership group of the government. He's a man who stood up in the New South Wales Parliament and attacked a female public servant.
The police commissioner, by calling her a liar.
I do think that is especially disappointing, and it's not reflective of the kinds of values that I would want to see in a Labor government.
Well, again, what we would hope is that the ministers, parliamentary secretaries, all of that, well, of course, they're chosen by the leader to be the people who represent their vision for the state or the country. Of course, in the Labor Party, they're given the list of people, and then you have to find jobs for them. So there's sort of factional things on it. But it is interesting that Labor never breaks ranks. But if you're going to break ranks like this, and particularly in this fashion, we'll all see what happens. I'm liking this speed round, by the way.